Hey everybody, it's Silver Seeker, and today we have a really cool video for you. As you can see, we have an APMEX investments you hold. This is a roll of Wheaties, 1909 to 1958 wheat cent average circulation. It has their APMEX SKU number, and actually, take a look, it even has a date right there, 040920. I'm assuming that's when this roll was actually rolled up. What we're doing with this roll today, guys, is we're actually going to go through and hunt it and see if we can actually find anything decent in it. Now, the thing about this roll, guys, is on APMEX's website, and I'll put a picture up on the screen for you before we get started, it actually advertised these as unsearched. Now, in previous videos, I have always argued that there's no such thing as an unsearched Wheatie roll. That being said, I do believe that APMEX probably did not search these themselves. They probably, got a big bag of these and, went ahead and rolled them up and shipped them out as unsearched ones. But before those bags are turned in, they were probably already searched by somebody else, all the good stuff pulled out. And what APMEX ends up with is just the leftovers, the things that aren't really worth holding on to. I believe that's going to be the case with this roll as well, but we're going to find out. Now, if this roll is really, really poor, I actually did order 2 of these. These actually take a while to go through since all 50 of them are Wheaties. So we're going to do one on this video, and then we'll probably do this one in another video in the future at some point. And we'll be able to compare the 2 rolls. So in the second video, I'll compare it to the first roll, if you know what I'm saying. It won't be up on the channel this week. It'll probably be in a week or 2, but we're going to go ahead and get opened on this one. So if we take a look at the end, guys, you can see that this side obviously is the back of a Wheatie. And this side, it looks like it's a 1930 something, and that looks like a mint mark, probably a D. So we're going to go ahead and open this up using the Full Push Metals Silver Screwdriver of Destiny, even though, of course, we're not going to find any silver inside of this roll. And we're going to see if we can't find some good stuff in here. So these are actually packed up really tight. I wonder what they use to roll these up, because these are packed up tighter than the rolls that you get from like the bank, like Brinks or Wells Fargo. These things are really rolled up tight. This is actually the first time I've ever opened one of the APMEX branded ones. So taking a look at the side here, it does actually look like we have a steel cent right here, if you take a look at that. So we'll get to that here in a second. But we're going to go ahead and get through these guys and see what we have. And we do have our coin scope ready to go if we need to go ahead and put something under there. All right, so the first thing we have, guys, we have a 1944. So that's a 1944p. So we'll put that in the pile of 40s. We'll go ahead and count how many 20s, 30s, 40s that we have. Right here, we have a 1949D. So a 1949D, another pile of 40s, or another one going in the 40s pile. This one right here, guys, we have a 1930p, so that's not bad. We'll put that over here. And the next one, we have another 1940s. That's a 1940p. This one, we have a 1942 Denver, so a 42 Denver, another 40. So we've gotten 130 and 4 40s out of the first 5. 1953, so that's our first 50s. We have a 1940D, so that's another 40. The pile of 40s is getting big pretty quickly. A 1935, so another one for the pile of 30s here. Here we go, guys, 1936, so a 36er. 1951. Okay, guys, I had a phone call interrupt me. I apologize, but I believe we added another 50 to the pile of 40 or 50s, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off the scope until we need it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep these piles on the screen so you can kind of see how big they're getting as we go through. So the next thing we have here, guys, we have another 40, so a 1944. Then we have a 1942D. So as you can see, our 40s pile is getting pretty big. I don't believe we found a single S mint mark. Correct me if I'm wrong. This one right here. All right, so we have another 30s, a 1931D. Actually got some good detail to it, and it looks like it's got kind of that wood grain pattern there. Next one up, guys, a 1956D, so another one from the 50s. And then we have a 1949. So we're going to start a second pile of 49, so it doesn't get too high there. And a 47D, so mostly 40s so far. If you notice, we haven't found anything pre-30s. This one, we got a 1946. This is mostly 40s at this point. 1954. And here we go. We got a 1942. So 1942 in that one. And next one up, we got a 42D. So 42 Denver. Now we have a 1956. So we got another one in the 50s pile. Take a look at the difference in the piles here. So it's definitely a difference here. 1935D, so another 35. So actually the 30s and the 50s are around the same, and the 40s are kind of double the 30s and the 50s in this pile. Now we're got another 39. That puts the, it looks like the 30s are one ahead of the 50s. Now the 30s are definitely ahead with that 1935. Next one, guys, we got a 1955, probably not a double die. We'll go ahead and get the scope out and take a look. And we'll go to the big scope, actually. So it doesn't look to be a 1955 DDO to me. That's definitely just a regular 55. So we'll go ahead and put that into our pile of 50s. All right, so let's keep on going with my piles falling over and everything. All right, so next one, guys, we have a 1937. We're going to start our second 30s pile, so the 30s are starting to catch up. And a 1948. You can barely see the 8. It is not legible almost, but I could see it, just a hint of it, to know that's what it was. We have a 1941. And let's slide these a little bit forward. Next one up, guys, we have a 1934. And next one up, we have a 1941. So another 40s, pile number 3. 1944, going into the 40s pile. So these are 30s, 40s, and 50s right here. And definitely winning out in the 40s. The 30s is doing better than the 50s. We got another 1941. This one looks old. It's a 1920. Is that a 20 or is it a 29? Let's take a look. Yep, that's a 1920 for sure. And it looks like there's a mint mark on it. Can't read that mint mark. But we got a 1920 something. I believe that's our first, well, I know it's our first 20, but I believe that's a 20. I'm pretty sure that that's an accurate read there. Now, if it's a 30s, then I apologize, but it looked like a 20s to me. All right, let's keep on going. So we have next up a 1956. So another one for the 50s pile. Next up, guys, we have a 1956 again, so another 1956. Now we have a 1943, so this is a 43 steel cent. Remember I said we had that steel cent in there. We'll take it. Did someone try and nick a penny here? We got a 1950D, so another 1950. 1950s are starting to catch up with the 30s again. Next one up, guys, we had a 1947. That's actually got a little bit of red to it. That's probably one of the nicest ones condition-wise. We've had another one with some red, but not much. So here we go with a 1939. Next up, a 1948. 1936, so another one in the 30s pile. 1949, going into the 40s. 1945, that is our fourth 40s pile. This one is a 1935 Denver, so going into the 30s. 1944, going into the 40s. 1940p. 1936. Don't think the 50s can beat the 30s at this point. 1947. 1935D, that's definite. And 1946. So, like I said, there's really no such thing as an unsearched wheat cent, as you can see right here. Now, when I say there's no such thing as an unsearched wheat penny, obviously this one single roll is not a good enough sampling to actually make that determination. But over all of the thousands of wheat pennies I've looked at over the years, I just don't believe there's such a thing as an unsearched one. If you go into a coin shop, they'll probably tell you the same thing. It's just at some point, somebody has looked through a bag of pennies here and there, and they'll bring in the searched bag, and after they pulled out all of the better dates, all the teens and 20s, the stuff that they can put into a roll and sell on eBay for a profit, things like that, and then they'll dump the rest of them into a coin shop, or they'll mail them to APMEX or Littleton or whoever. And what happens is we end up with things like this, And things like this are marketed as unsearched because technically APMEX didn't search these. And I believe that. I don't believe APMEX goes through their pennies. I think they don't have the time to go through their penny stash, if you will. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me. That was a lot of fun. Didn't find anything really too much. What we're actually going to do with these guys is we're going to take them into and dump every one of them into our penny box for the live stream. So as you can see, this penny box now has some more pennies in it. All right, guys, again, thank you so much for watching. I enjoy having you here. If you like the video, do me a favor, make sure you like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. I just want to quickly give a huge shout out to my awesome channel members. It's support like yours that make these videos possible. So once again, thank you. Guys, I left the video over there. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure you go and check that one out as well. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'd appreciate a sub if you liked the content. Otherwise, thank you again, and we will see you next time.